me encounter some enemies soon. Why would you want that? Because then I get to blast them. Hello.
Jedi Survivor is finally here, and I can finally happily say that it's an amazing, beautiful, and gorgeous game. I have been playing this thing non-stop. I think that I haven't slept all night. But anyways, nevertheless, let's talk about some things that I realized that I should have been doing differently. Mistakes, very huge mistakes that I should be placing a different focus to traverse through all of this kind of stuff. That being said, what is up, you damn gorgeous and beautiful, beautiful gamers? Welcome back to Role-Playing Games. This is Mariel Kona. In the internet where I like to discuss about RPGs, like the content, like everybody super appreciated. No, I tell you today you're a gorgeous and beautiful person. You are indeed a gorgeous and beautiful, beautiful person. So let's begin with number 1. Your holo map. It's very important. Back in the day of Jedi Fallen Order, it was very important to use this thing wisely because there were many secrets in this game that you would want to get in that previous game. In this one, they are that much interesting, that much more important because there are so many things that you can get out there in this world, so many secrets, so many cosmetics, so many skills, so much stuff that will allow you to progress differently through the main storyline of the game, through your main exploration through the game. Thing is that there are many locked areas, and for you to actually explore everything that the world has to offer to you, you do not want to miss out on all of these places. So your map is that much more important in here. You have green, that is going to allow you the places that you have already been to and that they are opened. Yellow are places that you haven't been to yet, and red are places that are locked to you cannot access yet. And that ties to number 2, the exploration because of story locked areas. I'm that kind of gamer. I have been there with you. When I run into something, I want to chase it until I manage to get that little something. It doesn't matter if it's just a secret, it doesn't matter if it's just a single small locked door. I want to get in there and get my filthy hands onto that thing that is separated from me. So I want to have it. Thing is that usually when you are in the hub areas, when it is a very, very nice, important thing to do, to first go through the story aspects of each area, because many of those places that are locked to you, you will be able to access them later by getting stuff that you will get from the main storyline. So usually what I do in my RPGs, open world exploration games, is that I explore everything. Once I know that I feel that I have cleaned up everything, I would go focus myself on the main storyline. This is the opposite way around. I'm not saying that you should completely ignore everything that the world has to offer to you, but anytime that you feel that you crashed against something that you cannot go through, that you cannot progress, that you cannot open, then most likely probably that is going to be locked by this story. And let me tell you, they are very intuitive. Once you get to a certain locked area and you get the chance to open it through the exploration of the main quest line, you will see, that's what I needed. That's what I'm missing. Let's go back there and let's open that thing. Walking mines. Every time that you see a spot, a green spot on the map, like the ones that I showed you previously, but you're not allowed to go through and you get stuck in there, most likely it's going to be a following mine, a rolling mine that you're going to have to look for in the vicinities of that place. They are going to follow you. You can actually be very creative about this. I've opened several of these doors by being very creative because they follow you for great distances. So be sure to keep your eye out there for these little bad boys, because they will allow you to enter those little places and get those juicy secrets as well. Now, speaking about exploration and the way that you are going to approach this game, combat has many different stances. There are many different ways that you can tackle onto this game. There are many OP things. There are just the variety in combat in here. It's so beautiful So you have your playstyle. One thing that I want to get out of the bag is that a lot of people is going to be led to believe that there are some certain situations where stances are more interesting and more approachable and better for certain situations, and they are. They most definitely are. For example, the Darth Maul double saber that is going to allow you to punch through AoE of areas of attack with several enemies that you have on your face, but that doesn't mean that you cannot use it on a duel. If you like something, try them all. Try all of them, and if you feel comfortable with something, if you like how your Cal Kestis looks, then by all means, take that something and use it throughout the rest of the game. Be sure that you experiment them all, see how they feel on your hands, because they do feel quite different, and see which one do you want best. There's also combinations. You do have the ability to have two stances at the very same time, so interesting combinations could be made in here. Now that leads us to the next point in the video, which is the skill points. I would argue that the very first early areas of the game, you should focus your skill points that you get towards survival, force, and whatnot, because they are things that you will always use. The game does have some kind of respect. It's also experience based. It's not that you're going to be locked out of everything. You can always farm levels if you want to unlock every single thing on that skill tree, but I would advise for you to, once you have focused yourself into something, once you decided that you're going to use that kind of combat playstyle, then by all means start investing your points in there. That is not to say they are not going to change that much your way of playing, but they are going to give you passive and active things that will enhance that playstyle that you have chosen, which leads us to the next point. The things that are actually going to change at some extent a little bit more, the things that your casters will do, and that is optional bosses. Now there are 2 points in here and 2 ways that could be done in here. Main story questline bosses, they are very easy. They are fairly easy to defeat. But if you're fighting against the optional legendary bosses that you will encounter scattered throughout the world, the ones that are optional, and if you feel like you're struggling way too much against them, then go away. Come back later, as soon as you have a little bit more stuff, as soon as you have a little bit more experience, as soon as you have more tools to tackle on to that boss fight, and be able, once you have more health, once you have more damage, once you have more guard, once you have that much stuff, you will be able to come back in there and by all means defeat that guy that was giving you trouble. That is the main approach. That is the first approach, I should better say. On the other hand though, if you actually like to stay persistent, if you are a Souls junkie like me and you're not afraid of the challenge, you can most definitely, at the very early stages of the game, be persistent. Trust me, I was persistent and I was able to defeat the bosses, and the reward are some of the best skills. We're not going to cover them in this video. We're going to be covering them individually on separate videos. But the skills that you get from these guys, the stuff that you get from these guys is going to make your life so much easier. So yeah, there's 2 ways of going through this thing. You can either run away from them or try to stay persistent and kill them. And if you do stay persistent and if you do kill them, the rewards are going to make your life so much easier throughout the rest of the game. And finally, a little bit of on a side note, I was so excited about exploring that I forgot to took some of the meditation places that I saw, and you know, the respawning mechanic and all of that kind of stuff. I usually just forget about meditation places. Do not make that mistake, because they are the places that will open you the fast travel mechanic. So if you want to backtrack something, if you, for example, let's say again that you decided to move on in an area that was close to you because you did not have the tools to open that area and you have to come back later, that meditation point is going to allow you to get to that area that much easier. So it is very important that you pick up all of your meditation places. Anyways, if you like the content, like your videos are appreciated, and also that you're a gorgeous and beautiful person, you are indeed a gorgeous and beautiful person. Remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel before you close the door. Now this is you goddamn gorgeous and beautiful people in the next one. Have a beautiful day and goodbye.